this idea of making an impression of increase, that everyone wants to have increase in their life. They want more life and they have a problem that's keeping them from expanding in their lives. And
Mhm.
if you are someone who can help them solve that problem, they will want to work with you. But you have to communicate that to them. And one of the ways you do that is not just by the words on a web page, but in who you are being when you interact with people, whether it's walking into a room or walking into the grocery store, whatever it is. People are picking up on all these cues about who you are and whether you can help them. And part of that is their your energy, but part of it's your clothing, part of it's how you present yourself. So I
Mm.
love that. Your the words you use to describe what you're doing, you are your personal brand. So how do you help people get clear on that?
Well, I think it's understanding what makes them different. And a lot of people will go, well, there's nothing interesting about me, or I'm not different. But the truth is, and I say this a lot in my presentations, there is no one like you in the entire world. There's no one that's ever existed like you, and nor will anyone ever exist like you with your DNA, your experiences, your knowledge, your surroundings. So it's kind of tapping into those things that make you different is what's going to make you stand out. And it's different, it's just from someone else. Because here's the thing, when you want to build your personal brand, you want to get more credibility, you want more people to know who you are. People connect with people. So if I think about all the sort of media coverage that I've had over the years, I would go as far as saying probably 80% of it has been not to do with any of my business. It's been part of the journey. My very first media coverage was about how the fact I was 24 years old and I had left an airline and started a business in the Middle East, and it was such a rare thing 20 years ago. That's what people were interested in. They couldn't care less what business it was the personal piece. Or, there's just so many things. Like even just last week, I was featured in a UK magazine, and it was about nothing to do with my business, but they were really interested in the fact that I had a long distance relationship. And that was the piece on what they wanted to know. And they mentioned my name and that I had a personal branding agency. But it was the key piece was about you, that relatability. That's how people can connect with you.
100%. I love that. I love that. So you help people own their uniqueness, own their story, I imagine, and be able to communicate that. That's great. I love it. What do you think 3 to 5 habits people could put into place would be to help them communicate their unique personal brand?
Okay, so one of the first things I think is people need to start with an audit. They've really got to understand where they're actually at to begin with. So I always say, Google yourself, but not from a vanity perspective. Google yourself to see what's out there already. That would be the first thing, because I think if there's nothing out there, we've got a blank canvas. And if there is a few things out there, we've got something to work on. And if there's stuff out there that's not positive, then it's time to change it. So I would say that would be the first thing that I would look at doing. The second thing I would say is make sure you own your domain name. So it's a huge mistake that I see people make is at some point, whether they go and write a book or they change a business, they don't own their name. And I would just say, find a way that you can actually own your name that's a .com rather than a .org or something else. Find a way that you can start building something that's yours. And you don't have to use it yet, but just own it, because you never know what might happen in the future. So that would be the second thing. The third thing would be it's inconsistency. So it's all about being consistent. Your personal brand doesn't come to you. You are your personal brand. How can you actively go out there and promote you? And one of the things I come across, especially in the Middle East, is a lot of local women are very private and they don't know how to put themselves out there that's not in a showy off way, that it's humble, and there is a way to do it, but when you do it consistently. Because what you don't want is someone that's maybe going to buy your product or service to research you, then you go back and have they go and research you and it's like 2 years old. So are you still in business? Are you not in business? Who knows? Years ago, I looked at working with a coach, and it was an expensive coach, I have to say. And I did my brand audit on her, and I was so disappointed to find that there was very little out there. And I was like, if I'm parting with that amount of money, I want to see that they've done lots of things, or I want to see that they've got the credibility. So you never know who's watching and who's looking. And, very much in the way of, if you're going on a blind date and, a friend set you up and they give you the name of who you're going out with on the date, and the high probability is you're going to go and Google that person before you go on the date. And then if you Google them and there's nothing in there about them, yeah, exactly. For those that are listening.
For those just listening to, yeah, exactly. I was going to say the same thing. I gave her the askance little look like, yeah.
Sketchy, or what are they hiding, or what's going on? And you've got to understand that your personal brand is the same. If there's nothing out there about you, then what are people led to think? They'll just make up stuff. So that would be the fourth thing. And then the fourth element is sort of consistency when delivering it. And I think the fifth piece is your personal brand evolves. So you've got to keep going with it. Where you were 10 years and having no blowouts and not elaborate makeup routine, to where you are now is so different, and it's part of you. And never be embarrassed that your brand evolves. Your personal style evolves, your business evolves, your likes and dislikes evolve. And it's just knowing that, be open to it all. I mean, there's the other obvious pieces about, be authentic and do this and do that. But I believe that goes without saying. There are kind of 5 things that I would say right now, if you're a business owner, and not even a business owner, if you are looking to, change your career, for example, or move in your career, you need to speak up. You need to be seen. You need to be visible. And they're the things you need to be doing.
When you're ready for freedom, you find the courage to scale. And you better get ready for our next, the 7 Laws to 7 Figures Summit, which is going to be off the charts. Join me this November for an electrifying 3-day online event where female entrepreneurs from all over the world gather together to learn how to scale their business and unlock the freedom that they desire. And a special offer for all podcast fans. Get your seat today using the link theunstoppablewoman.com/breakthrough and save 80% off of your ticket purchase. Bye for now and see you there.